kids. Today, Mr. Bones and I are going to be teaching a lesson to use when you do your worksheet this week. The first question I have for you is, how many bones are there in the human body? Most of you know that babies have more bones than humans do, adult humans. Why is that? That's correct. Babies have more bones. They have over almost 500 because their bones fuse together as they grow. Human body has 206 bones. So you'll need that for later on your quiz as well as possibly on your worksheet. The next one we're going to talk about is cartilage. Is that soft tissue that's found between bones. So we have cartilage in our knee. We also have some cartilage in our elbow. So sometimes when people get what's called where they feel like they have jumper's knee or they have tennis elbow, you maybe have heard of those. Sometimes that's when the cartilage disappears and we start to fill bone against bone. Ligaments. What are ligaments? Well, our most famous ligaments are on our knee. About those in a little bit. But a ligament is what connects two bones together, and there's cartilage oftentimes in between there. So a ligament is the connection of two bones. On the other hand, tendon is the connection of a muscle to a bone. One of our most popular tendons is our Achilles tendon. So we'll talk about those in a little bit. Our first bone that we're going to talk about today is the cranium. Our skull, we often hear this called our skull. The real name is the cranium. The cranium is what houses the brain. The next one we're going to talk about is and notice Mr. Skeleton, Mr. Bones, is missing his jaw, but our bottom jaw right here is called our mandible. What we're going to talk about is our ribs. We have several ribs. Our ribs, the bone name is costa. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ribs. But we also have these hanging here, okay? These are called floating ribs. Our ribs are what protect all of those organs inside, mostly our heart. The next one is if everyone punches right here, our sternum is that hard bone right here. Oftentimes we talk about it as our chest bone. Our sternum is what holds and connects all those ribs together. The next is our vertebrae. So our vertebrae, I'm going to turn Mr. Skeleton around. Our vertebrae is oftentimes referred to as our spine. We have lots of vertebrae, okay? Our vertebrae can be broken up into 5 sections. We've got the C's, which is the cervical ones. There's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we have the thoracic, which sometimes you'll hear them called the T's. There's 12 of them. Then we get down here into these big ones down here. There are L's, or our lumbar. And then we get down here into our sacrum and our coccyx, and those are fused together and they go all the way down almost into our glute area. So our spine is oftentimes referred to as our vertebrae. Okay? The next we're going to talk about is our pelvis. Our pelvis is our hip. Can you see the hip right there? Our pelvis houses the joint that's called the hip. So if you've ever heard of someone breaking a pelvis, it's a pretty serious injury. The next one on our list is our femur. Now our femur is, and I'm going to move the video down so you guys can see these a little bit better. But the femur is the big bone in our leg. Our hamstring and our quadriceps surround the femur. When a person breaks a femur, it's a big deal. The next one, patella. Our patella is our knee. In the patella, we have the famous ligaments of our knee. The bottom one, if you ever hear of someone pulling or hurting their meniscus, it's going to be the bottom of the kneecap, okay? The other ones, and I have to look at my cheat sheet to make sure I'm doing this correctly. The next one, we have our MCL, we have our LCL, and any of you that have ever heard of someone pulling their ACL, those are the tendons that are clear inside. That's a very serious injury. The next one's on our paper is our fibula, tibia. Our tibia is the big bone. Our fibula is the little bone. The tibialis goes right inside of here. It fits. It's a tiny muscle. We talk about that a lot being our shin splint muscle. Well, when we jump and we put all that pressure on our foot, these bones tend to squeeze together. And if there isn't enough muscle right there, that's the shooting pain through the muscle that you feel in a shin splint. So the tibia and the fibula are very, very important because they house the muscle of the tibialis here and the gastroc here, okay? Next on your sheet are going to be the ones in the foot, okay? We have our tarsal, which is the ankle area. We have our metatarsal, which is the foot, and then we have our phalanges. Now, moving up the body, we're gonna come up to our hands. And I'm gonna go ahead and move this back up again. Now we're gonna talk about our hands, okay? Our hands, if you hold them out like this, the tarsal is going to be your, or the carpal is gonna be your wrist area. Some of you that have heard of people that get carpal tunnel, okay? That's the bones right here in the wrist area. Then we have the hand, which is the and our fingers are ours as well. Then we're gonna move into the bones in the arm, okay? This is our forearm. If you go like this, the thumb side is going to be your radius, and the pinky side is your ulna, okay? So thumb side, and this, thumbs up, that's your radius, okay? Pinky side is your ulna. If you look here, it's going to radius and the ulna. Moving up, the main bone in our arm, upper arm, is called our humerus. How many of you have heard of hitting your funny bone? Well, your funny bone it's a nerve, but humerus, ha ha ha, is the bone in your upper arm. Now moving up your sheet, scapula is going to be your shoulder blade here. Oftentimes we refer to the scapula as our shoulder. And then our collar, this muscle or this bone right here, is our clavicle. So this right here that sticks out, this is our clavicle. Sometimes you hear that as your collarbone, okay? Those are the major muscle or major bones of the body, and we will be using those this week to complete the worksheet. Hope to see you soon. I miss you guys. Have a great rest of your day and get active.